Hey everyone, I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about why Cloud9 failed in 2024 for League of Legends. So we did a similar video like this last year talking about why did Cloud9 fail in 2023, and we would like to follow up that video with the 2024 edition. And joining me here today in this video to talk about why Cloud9 failed in 2024 is Mr. Blanks, and we're going to go over what he thought about Cloud9 throughout this year as well. But it's very, very important to kind of keep things structured. That way people can kind of follow the timeline of what has been going on with Cloud9. So let's just kind of reel it back and talk about C9's previous mid laner, Menace, actually, who Cloud9 did win a title with last year and almost won a second title in the summer split for 2023. So literally after Cloud9 lost to Fnatic at the 2023 League of Legends World Championship, Menace actually did a link. You guys know what I'm going to say there. It's a reference from back in the day where Link wrote that Donzo manifesto about Doublelift. Menace wrote a Donzo manifesto about Cloud9 and the players on it before he retired. In that Donzo manifesto, he clearly called out players like Fudge and Blabber for not practicing enough. Keep in mind what you said there. Fudge and Blabber were called out for not practicing enough. Not Berserker, not Sven. Menace had said for Sven, he just couldn't work with him, probably because Sven is a pretty, harsh personality to work with. You're talking about just regarding League of Legends, right? So then in the offseason, Cloud9 ended up picking up, Jojo Pion, who had previously played on EG. And I'll talk about Jojo Pion in just a moment here. Cloud9 picked up Jojo Pion. That was the pick that everyone wanted Cloud9 to get. In hindsight, looking back, it made perfect sense. But when you look at Jojo Pion throughout his career, might not have been what we had thought initially. Then Cloud9 ended up replacing Sven, who was the role swap support that they had from the 2022 LCS summer split. Actually, they brought back Vulcan, who was previously on EG, failed there in 2023, went to FlyQuest, he failed there, and now he's obviously failed here on Cloud9. So that's your roster right there.
Failure, I see.
So coming into 2024, the LCS 2024 spring split, you had Fudge, Blabber, Jojo Pion, Berserker, and Vulcan. And this roster was supposed to be a super team. Win everything. Both splits. In the regular season, 7-7. Keep in mind, a lot of people won't remember this. Remember that week break? Remember that 2-week break we had?
Yeah.
If they lost so much that if they did not go 2-0 that week, they wouldn't have even made playoffs. Keep in mind, they were that close to not making playoffs. They lost to Immortals twice, actually. They got to the playoffs. They threw out 100 Thieves first. 100 Thieves had a decent trajectory of their own that split, but, faced Cloud9, which is the team that could beat them constantly. They lost to them 3-0. The next one Cloud9 faced, they faced FlyQuest, actually. They lost to FlyQuest so hard. It was back when they had Jensen. They only had Quad at that time. Jensen didn't even die in that entire best of 5. Cloud9 lose to FlyQuest. Then they faced up against Team Liquid, and Team Liquid crushed them. There were so many issues with Cloud9. Fudge was running it down. Blabber didn't have a brain. Jojo Pion would try to make plays, but it just didn't really amount to anything. You could tell Berserker and Vulcan just did not work out. Remember that game against Team Liquid in the regular season, dude, where Berserker tried all-inning and he just failed and Vulcan didn't help him at all?
Yeah.
That's the type of shit we were dealing with here. So then, after Cloud9 fail in the LCS 2024 spring split, in the offseason, it was announced that they would bring back their long-tenured coach, Reaper, whom they let go at the end of the 2020 year for the LCS 2020 summer split, where that super team also failed. Reaper got to come back. Then they replaced Fudge with Thanatos, actually, because Fudge was just, yikes. Like, literally just, what the hell is this guy doing? He even admitted he played bad. And fans would go, Fudge didn't play that bad. Fudge said out of his own mouth he played bad, so stop being a fucking cocksucker. God damn, you people are just so fucking
Well, I think he said that just to
we know he was playing bad. We watched the games. He was running it down hard.
But honestly, looking back at it, I think you...
So then, after that, in the summer split, given how it was structured with the LCS, they went back to best of threes. Cloud9 had a schedule where they never actually faced the best teams until the very end of the split. Every single game of theirs, outside of like the first Dig series, they clapped everybody. Yeah, they actually did play pretty well. They beat the shit out of everybody. But you could tell when they were playing, there were some problems there. The mid game was very, very dicey. A lot of junglers were inting into Blabber. What that means basically is they were the ones playing back. He wasn't actually playing good. That's what I mean there. So then they faced Team Liquid in the final week of the LCS 2024 summer split, and they actually beat Team Liquid in game 1. Oh, but then you had games 2 and 3. And the draft was so bad. We were in Reaper draft Yone into, I think, Ziggs, actually. That Yone draft was just awful. They faced up against FlyQuest the following week. They actually beat FlyQuest, and they got second place, so they got the bye. So then the playoffs start. They faced against FlyQuest first, because FlyQuest early on beat NRG. They got third, because third place 6th, fourth place 5th. Yeah. So then Cloud9 faced against FlyQuest. And they look at butthole. They look like shit. Like, I mean, like, actually just like, bro, what the hell is going on here? This is all bad. Then people were like, you know what? They can still go to Worlds. There's no one else better than them. 100 Thieves. They ended up clapping Dig. Then they lost to Team Liquid, but obviously everyone loses to Team Liquid, actually. Then 100 Thieves has a Dig rematch, which goes to 5 games, which is crazy because there's a chance they could have lost that. River pulled them out in game 4. They ended up winning game 5. They also go up against to face Cloud9. Okay, so then they face against Cloud9, and then the same problems keep happening with Cloud9. Just shot calling is not there. The macro is not there. The decision making is not there. The laning phases have all gone to shit. Like, if you took the regular season Quid versus the regular season of JoJo, you would never think Quid would, like, you never think JoJo would lose to that guy. Quid was quite literally running it the entire split until the very last 2 weeks they got Tomo. The only player that was even playing good at 100 Thieves before that happened was Sniper. They got Meech was kicked off the team for Tomo. They started looking a whole lot better. Yeah, they had their own, and then they had their own run, right? They had their own run. They in that series, even with the 100 Thieves looking a whole lot better than they did, people still predicted for Cloud9. And they got destroyed. The only reason why 100 Thieves lost game 2 is because River ran it down and because they picked Vi. That's the only reason why. If those two don't happen, they just get 3-0. That's probably even worse, honestly, of a more of an upset. Now, we got to talk about the players on the roster, too. So I've actually met some of these guys in real life, so I'm going to be kind of nice. You know, they might probably watch this. Okay, I'm going to be nice here. I like Jack. I really do. I really admire his business sense. I really do enjoy what he's done with the org. But Jack, you really have to hire some coaches, man. One man is just not going to do it. Look at 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves have that guy, John, what's the name? The Golden Glue, that other guy who was on Golden Guardians last year, who made them look good. He's on 100 Thieves now.
And also the coach you hired was the last coach that did get to Worlds. That's me.
Yeah. So I would say to Jack, you need an actual coaching staff because we know a lot of the team's budget went into Jojo Peon. He was going to command the biggest contract because they got it from EG, and EG were having a liquidation sale because they were going out of business. And they got to make that Skrilla, you know, they got to make that money, as the kids say. So I would say for all that for Jack is you need an actual coaching staff. I believe in Reaper too, despite what just happened. I do myself, but he needs help. You know, there's no way a one-man show can work like that. Even the best teams in the world, Genji and T1 and Homolife and all that stuff, they have a coaching staff. It's not just Coma. It's not just Dandy. It's not just Mata. You know, you got to have some coaches there. You know, there's no coaches on Cloud9. And let's go into, before I go into Reaper, he's like the least of the problems there. Let's go into the players, actually. So Thanatos came over, and Thanatos, despite having a better laning phase than Fudge, what is he really here for? He doesn't really do anything, you know? He can play better. You can see that he is better, but if it doesn't amount to anything, then what's the actual reason why he's here? And, you know, people know this about super teams is like, yeah, you can't just straight up win with just 5 better players. Some teams with super teams can. It's very rare a super team can actually even win in league because of resource management and what you have to do to actually put into the players on the map to win. Thanatos, do I believe he's a stronger player, is weaker macro sense than Fudge is, right? He doesn't really know what to do on the map at all. Keep in mind, he just came over for one split, so I doubt he's getting kicked going into 2025. But you have to figure out, what do you want him to do? Is he a weak side player like 369 who can play carries if needed? Or is he a carry player? I don't know. They need to pick what he's useful for, right? Let's go to Blabber. Guys, Blabber has been good for a very, very long time. I mean, last year at Worlds should have shown you that. He got clapped pretty hard. Remember that T1 game where Cloud9 got perfect gamed? Guess who asked for the Belveth pick? Blabber did. You can just watch the voice comms. He asked for it. Okay, he asked for the pick. Clapped. Blabber looked bad last year. Blabber has, and I'm talking like domestically, you can still debate if he was one of the best junglers. That's a different thing. But this year specifically, bad. He's been bad for most of it. Outside of even though the spring regular season was not that good, this summer regular season he was good, but he was. Look at all that competition that he faced in that between. Remember, a lot of these guys were just really just blatantly running it into him. I think at this point, Blabber's been on the roster too long. I think you've already hit as much ceiling as you can with this guy. I think you just got to let him go. Honestly, it's over. You know, what else more can you do? It's the same thing we said with Fudge. You know, after what we saw at World 2022, why are we keeping this topside duo together? And at this point, why are we keeping Blabber on the roster? It's just not as good anymore. He's peaked out. It's over. It's just, you hit a ceiling with the team. You need a new jungler, actually. Jojo Pion, let's go to him. So, put back there in. I grilled the Menace last year because he was just choking in games. And he would just not do anything when it mattered. I never said he was a bad player. Come on, I never said that. I said he was just a player where if he didn't choke, it would look a lot better on the screen. He at least won for Cloud9. They at least got to Worlds last year with him. At least got to international events with him. With Jojo, they had nothing. They actually just got there. Jojo would go down arguably as the worst mid laner of Cloud9 because we didn't go anywhere with Jojo. There's no trophies with this guy. Peel back in that spring split of last year, the LCS 2023 spring split, Jojo's performance actually regressed in that split. Remember? We're like, man, in 2022, he was actually pretty good. 2023 spring, he was not good, actually. He even said himself, he played worse in spring. Summer, he played a lot better, but that was because he also had the entire team investing all their resources into him. And Unforgiven, who was the AD carry on the team, he was their late game insurance policy. That's it. But what happened in playoffs? Completely, they didn't go anywhere. He missed Worlds last year, actually. The only time he ever went to Worlds was when his roster was Impact and Inspired. Two players are also going to Worlds right now. Coincidence? I think not. So then, for Jojo Pion, he actually ran it down so hard in the series. I mean, fuck, I would probably just cut my losses there, get another guy. You just can't be choking like that. This is 2 years in a row. That's 4 splits. That's more than enough time. Like, you got to get a new guy. Berserker was like head and shoulders the best ADC, at least top 3. His performance has pretty much fallen off a cliff all year. You could make the debate to keep him. You could. I wouldn't heckle you for that. But it's like, if you could find something a little bit better or more consistent, Vulcan has been playing bad ever since 2023. The EG roster failed with him.
Yeah.
FlyQuest failed with him. And this Cloud9 super team failed with him. That's 4 splits of failure for Vulcan. Keep in mind, it was so bad in FlyQuest last year, he didn't even make playoffs last year in the summer split. For the LCS 2023 summer split, he didn't make playoffs. Barely almost missed playoffs for the spring split going to the following year as well. Terrible performance from this guy. Do people say they have hands? I have hands too, guys. Well, I don't know. They have hands. They can make things happen. No, they can't. They cannot. We saw this with our own eyes. Are we blind? Are we Helen Keller? Are we Ray Charles or some shit? No, they're clearly decent mechanically. I think it's highly overrated of people to be like, oh, they're good mechanically. They're decent mechanically, And the thing with Reaper is, he's done some really crazy drafts in the past. The LeBlanc drafts were just non-existently bad. And Jojo Pion had leads against Quid in one of the games, but it didn't matter because Zeri's just a better champion long term, and 100 Thieves had a better draft to lock down Jojo. Like, Cloud9 has failed the entire. This is the worst year by far. Fun fact: Cloud9 have made a finals in every single year since they've been in org in the LCS. So a finals every split, not every split, one of the splits of the year. So 2024 they made a finals. 2023, 15, 16. Every year they've at least made a finals. Keep in mind that's how dominant they've been in some years. This year, they've made no finals, no international competition, and they were barely relevant in spring. They were struggling really hard, and they choked in this playoffs, and they're not going to Worlds. Do I think they'll be in this American system? Well, yeah. It would be stupid of Riot not to allow them in. That's just dumb. That's not a problem. That's getting in is not the issue. The problem here is like, what do you do with the roster at this point? I don't know. This is even bigger failure than last year. At least they were at Worlds last year, and we got a chance to see a menace on the world stage against Faker. That was certainly one of the matches of all time. I'll say that. What do you think, man, about Cloud9's year?
Shit. I don't know what.
Where do you start? Just L after L after L.
Exactly. That's the.
Oh, let's just throw in this. Remember the new Cloud9 series, The Sky's the Limit? I don't know why they changed that. They should have just kept it on Cloud9 whatever. That's just nitpicking, but that's just me personally. Remember Blabber? Not Blabber, a Berserker. Berserker was so mad at them for inting. He punched the wall or the door or whatever. He was so angry that they int so hard. They made his brain fall to the floor by how badly they int the game. Like, do you even like? I don't know what to do. Honestly, the whole roster would have to be retooled. Blabber caps their team out at a certain extent. I doubt FlyQuest is getting rid of Inspired, so that's not gonna be on the team.
Nah.
I mean, there's always Spico.
The only you talk about for Cloud9.
Yes, they have Spico as an option.
Honestly, I know LS said that they were talking about getting a new jungler support. Support, yeah, jungler, who do you get? Unless they're going Korean. I think that's what
Cloud9. They might honestly go Korean rookie since they have Reapered, potentially. Korean jungler. That's the thing is, at this point now.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Reckless is to support next year?
burn that year down too. Let's go 2026.
Oh, shit.
No, but I'll ask you, man, what do you think about their year? Because remember, coming to this year, super team, finals, both splits, winning finals, MSI, Worlds, none of that happened. Nothing of it happened. They didn't get to Worlds. At least if they got to Worlds, there might have been something salvageable. They didn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, it's just the worst year by far. No finals in the domestic.
Oh, no, it's easily the worst by far.
The drafting was just so ass at a certain point. I don't know, honestly, guys. It's just they need a different structure moving forward. I know Jax talked about like their systems at Cloud9, buddy. I think you need different systems moving forward. You know what? You can change the systems. Why not change them? Change them. They're not working anymore. Change them up. You know, and it's proven that Cloud9 can do well domestically. You know, but the thing is. What made Cloud9 do well, for a lot of people that have to understand this, is that they had personalities on the team that would whip you into shape. So if you're running it down in scrims, Sven, when he was on the roster, would be like, nah, bro, can you stop doing that? Can you stop fucking around? You know? Amenas and Sven are not the people to let you just run it down in scrims. That's why most of the problematic people on Cloud9, even though they won for Cloud9, aren't there anymore. Like Jensen, not there anymore. I'm not saying he was a problem, but Jensen's not going to tolerate people running it down in scrims. We know that. You know, so what I'm trying to say here is nobody on the team is the guy that wants to be that guy unless Berserkers is blowing up at them. You know, there's got to be that guy on the team. You know what I mean? You have to have a guy where it's like, hey, like, come on, dude, stop fucking around. Like, we got to get our shit together. You know, Inspired does that for FlyQuest. When Jensen and Inspired had issues, we knew that was a thing. Rumors that Jensen and Inspired are having problems. Yeah, because they're arguing how to play the game because they want to get better. Cloud9 doesn't have that, guys. In interviews, JoJo's talking like a black guy, and he's like, oh, yes, dog. Like, we just didn't play well because we missed an ability, dog. Bro, that's not how you lose a game. What year are you in? That's not why you lost at all, because you just missed an ability. That's not what happened.
He thought he was talking out of like 19.
Bro, talking like fucking Michael Jordan, like the 90s.
Yo, he sounded like he got in the class of the bond. Yo, dog, I was like, then again, Koreans do like black culture over there.
He's not Korean, he's American.
Who?
JoJo, he's American.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, but he is Korean descent.
To be fair, his profile pic, he does have a picture of LeBron dunking, not LeBron.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he
put up a tweet a long time ago when he first joined the league. He was like, "There's nothing to tweet here. It's FlyQuest after we beat them," and then he retweeted that.
Isn't he of Korean descent? Because I know, like,
No, he's Canadian.
I mean, he's Asian. Where is he from?
What are you doing here, man? You're crazy.
You know damn well. Like,
No,
but
but it's
yeah,
just like him and Blabber are talking like some like us when we play. Like, oh, dude, if you didn't hit that ability, you'd win. But guys, in pro play, it's way more different than that. Yeah, and solo queue, yeah, if that person didn't probably hit their ability, you probably did lose because of that person. But that's not how it works in professional play. They didn't just lose because Blabber didn't hit a fucking Lilia. What's that knockup she does? That Q she does. They didn't lose because of that. They lost. First of all, you lost because the drafting is terrible. Blabber's on Ivern. That's stupid. Jojo Pion's asking for LeBlanc, running it down like my wife does in bed. You just run that bitch down. And then Berserker and Vulcan don't exist. So you're playing automatically 3v5 because that bot lane's been in the playoffs just god awful. Vulcan doesn't exist anymore. He's just coasting for a paycheck now. He's one of those players where he did so well and put up so much goodwill that people just can't imagine a world he's this bad now. You know, at least for Core JJ, he was really bad at a certain point, but Core JJ has fixed that. He actually has got back to form. Vulcan never got back to form. He's just been running it, actually.
But he also had no one to like tell him to get back to form. No one's like willing to be like, "Hey, man, you're kind of bad." You know, he just takes it in stride and keeps him moving.
So, what do you think they do? I don't know, man. Like, oh, do we get to Reaper? Oh, Reaper. So the thing here is, I know people are going to draw correlations between the summer 2020 failure and the 2024 summer failure. Reaper, keep in mind, Reaper was fired because of the bad drafting in that summer 2020 series when he kept putting Sven and Vulcan on Ezreal Yuumi. Yeah, for 3 games straight, he drafted Ezreal and Yuumi, and he drafted Ziggs for Berserker. Ziggs, your hyper kick. Berserker, your late game carry, your carry of the team is on Ziggs. Yep, you know, like I don't know. What do you think, man? How do you think Cloud9 changes? How many players do you think at least move off the team?
This is crazy. I think it's 4, but I think it's 2 they fired, 2 that decided to walk.
Okay, you think they keep anybody? Honestly,
I think JoJo might be the only one to keep, and that's because they invested too much in him. I think Santos might walk. I think this might be a Team Liquid last year where they flamed out and everybody just decided to go back to where they came from before. I think Berserker might go back to Korea.
There's no way Berserker stays after this year. It's over.
Santos,
we knew he was trying to not be on the team this year. Remember, there was rumors he was going to go to Team Liquid or FlyQuest, you know. So there's already signs there that he didn't want to be here, you know.
One of the Seas was a rumor.
Mm-hmm.
That could have worked. Then it would have been Berserker and somebody else. I forgot who would have came. I forgot who would have showed up, but yeah, that would have been like just nuts. I'm trying to think who else would have came. That's the thing. I don't know. That's
like they don't have a coaching staff, so hiring coaches is going to be easy. You just pick the best ones that. Well, let Reaper pick the best ones that he thinks are good. You don't have like people. Hai's a player manager. He ain't gonna count for anything. Like I don't really know what you do going into next year. Like the only thing that I would suggest is get a coaching staff, and then suggest swapping out players. I would say at this point, Blabber's been here a little bit, not just because he's here for too long. You could be on a roster too long, but if you're not consistently winning or at some point making it competitively viable to win, you being there a long time is just a detriment at a single point. Like, I feel like the team's atmosphere is just Blabber's atmosphere because where Blabber came in when Sneaky was there and Jensen was there and that atmosphere of like, we're here to have fun. We're here to just chill. That's somewhat of Cloud9's vibe here and there. And Jack mentioned a long time ago, he probably was a little bit too stingy with that original roster about, cutting people when he needed to, when their performance just dropped off a cliff, actually. And that's the thing now, too, is, he was kind of like the last bastion of that Cloud9 from 2018. And I feel like Jack's got a little bit too complacent with keeping Blabber. You don't have to subject yourself to his gameplay anymore. You can get better, or someone that can just do the job just good enough,
Yeah.
Like that's kind of where I'm at with Blabber. I mean, Thanatos, they already invested money into. I wouldn't say just get rid of him right now. There's potentially more. I mean,
I'm not saying they let him go.
He could be a Quid. He could be a Grimmer. Quid came in last year. He really just didn't do anything.
No,
honestly.
I'm thinking Thanatos might decide to leave.
Oh no, that's true too. That's possible. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking might happen. He might just be like, this ain't worth it. Like,
yeah, unless they think that Thanatos is gonna be something like Quid became this year, which is possible. Get more time, you turn into something. But I think for Vulcan, that time's over. Yeah, Vulcan just failed too many times. 4 splits in a row, man. 4 splits fail. They lost to Golden Guardians last year in the playoffs, but a roster of Inspired and Jojo Pion. So, yeah, any closing thoughts on why Cloud9 failed in 2024, man? You want to say before we close out the video?
Why they failed in 2024? They had what I call a paper team. They had a team that worked on paper, but not when it constructed. You look at it, you're like, this should work. This should work. But sometimes what should work doesn't work. And that's the realization. You realize, this team's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to do something. And that's the whole thing with Cloud9. You look at it, you're like, they massively underachieved. They massively underachieved because they looked at the potential of JoJo and then look at what he actually was. His potential's here, but you have to actually look at every game. He got worse each play. He didn't get better. And then you think, okay, we'll get unlock him. That's not how that always works. You can't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. Is there's certain players that'll have that unlockable potential, but there should be like signs there that happens. Blabber doesn't have that. No anymore. His gameplay has just been either super stagnant or it just doesn't amount to what it used to amount to. JoJo just fell off a complete cliff. If you coming to the split, people were kind of mad they replaced Jensen on FlyQuest, but Quad has played way better than both of them. Quad actually pretty good.
I think Quad should team better because he doesn't have an opinion. He's just there to play. That's what a lot of Korean players are if you're not the leader of the team, you play your role and keep it moving. I think that's the whole thing too.
Remember, what did Blabber say about the team in spring? He said there was too many people, with too many voices on the team. We didn't really have a direction or identity. Yep. They went from talking to, because Reaper said this too. Remember, they were talking too much in comms. They went from talking too much to having so many different ideas they couldn't compromise to now not compromising on nothing because no one wants to be that guy. There's no middle ground.
Exactly.
Jojo Pion talking like a black guy in the hood. Hey, yo, dog, what's up, bro? You trying to get this weed, homie? Like, oh my god, our mid laner's black. Oh no.
Trying to get this weed, homie, is crazy.
God, and Berserker like rapping in his voice. He already spitting the hardest bars when he talks. They just don't work, man. It's over. Yeah. So yeah. For my closing thoughts on Cloud9 for 2024, complete failure. 2025 is going to be the 2024 League of Legends offseason for Cloud9 is going to be really interesting. I do believe Berserker. I believe Blabber's time is done. Vulcan's time is done.
The Vulcan is definitely done. Blabber is 50-50. I think his time's done.
Do they have does Jack have finally the balls to replace him? He's been there since 2018 summer. Crazy, right? 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 6 years of this guy. 6 years of this guy. Easily, like early on it was justifiable he plays. Now it's just, it's over. It's done, man. So, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you want to go subscribe to Mr. Blanks, I'll leave his channel linked in the description box below. Actually, make sure you guys go and check him out. Subscribe to his channel. Thank you guys for being here. If you're a returning viewer or a new viewer, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King. Signing out, guys. Peace.
Peace.